Good morning, Trevor. Thank you so much for coming on. I would love if you could introduce yourself.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me today. My name is Trevor Gabbidon. I just released my first children's book in April titled Daughters Grow Up So Fast from a Father's Perspective. So that's kind of what I've been doing this past couple months, just trying to figure out ways to market myself, kind of let people kind of match a face with the author, trying to get out there more, just networking and talking to different people, as well as I have my own do-rag business that I'm actually launching the website for maybe 2 weeks from now. And then I also start nursing school in October. So I'm pretty booked doing a lot of stuff and just trying to just keep going.
That's so amazing. I would love if you could tell us what your book's about and what inspired you to write it.
Okay, so my book is actually right next to me. It's Daughters Grow Up So Fast from a Father's Perspective. And that is actually my daughter on the cover. So I'll just read the synopsis first and then I'll explain it. As fathers, we often have many things running through our minds as we watch our little princesses grow up. People always ask us that number one question: what are you going to do when she gets older? We may laugh it off or smile, but the truth is we may never be able to handle them growing up. Here's a little glimpse of what goes on inside a girl dad's brain. So the book kind of, I think, like a lot of fathers have these same similar thoughts, if not the same exact thoughts. But this book kind of just gives you a glimpse of what goes on inside of our brains. As like for me, I watched my daughter grow up. She's 5 years old now. She just started kindergarten. And I kind of touched bases on that in the book as well. There's a section of the book that it was kind of like a full circle moment because I wrote it in my book. And as I was getting her ready for that first day of school, the first bus ride, it kind of went hand in hand with the book. But from a father's perspective, I just think many just assume, you like they automatically assume, you're watching your daughter grow up. All dads are thinking about is she's gonna get older, she's gonna have a boyfriend, no boys allowed, which is true, but that's not even half of it of what I think, like what goes on in my brain as I watch her grow up. Just thinking of her now versus who she'll be when she's 30 years old. She can be a totally different person. So the book kind of just gives you an insight on what goes on in a typical dad's brain as he watches his little one grow up.
That's amazing. When you started writing the book, who were you thinking of when you were writing it? Was it for kids to read what their dads think or dads to read with their kids?
When I was writing the book, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. That's when I wrote it. I finished it in like an hour and a half. At that point, I was thinking of actually, I thought of my daughter. She's hooked to my old phone or tablets, and then my nieces, the only way to keep them quiet is to give them the phone or the tablet. So as I wrote the book, I was just thinking, what kind of books would I want my daughter to read? What would she like? And this was literally the first one that came to mind.
Love that. Love that. How long have you been writing?
So I've been writing on and off since high school. I'm 25 now, but I didn't take it serious. I was always I always journaled throughout my whole life, almost just whenever I was feeling down or even happy moments. But usually when I was feeling down, I'd always write in my journal. I always wanted to write books. I just didn't know what kind. When I first started, which was when I was younger, I used to like doing books. I used to read a series called the Buford series, and it was kind of like it's not, okay, it's not adult fiction, but it's like a kid's version of that. So I thought I'd do like, books like that. But as I started writing, it was so hard trying to end a chapter, start another one, and not talk about the whole book or idea all in one chapter. So the kids' book idea kind of just came out the blue. But I do know if I didn't have a daughter, I probably wouldn't even had this idea.
Amazing. What is your schedule like when you are writing a book? Do you plan to write more books or was this your
Oh,
one?
yes. I actually have 4 to 5 books in the works right now. But what I'm running into now is like this book has been doing so well just off of me just promoting it myself and just networking with people. I didn't realize once you write the book, it doesn't stop there. Like, of course, you can write another book, but I'm a new author, so I'm still learning how to, just find my target audience first. So I do have a couple books in the works, but I think I won't finish them and start like putting them out just until I kind of learn better how to market this book, how to make sure it's reaching the target that I want it to reach. And as of right now, I'm like not there yet, but I'm getting into there. So books are on the way for sure.
Amazing. When you're in your writing space, do you have anything that you have to help you keep focused?
Quiet. It has to be like super quiet. And I usually write at night. I don't know why, but I usually do it at night just because I don't know, people don't bother me at nighttime. And 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, nobody's once it's quiet around my mom's house, nobody's texting me, everybody's asleep. So it kind of gives me time to just think. I'll sit there for hours and hours and just be thinking about what can I put in this book? How can I make it different? Because it's a lot of children's book out, and I like that's what I do on my downtime. I might go into a store and just go to the children's book section and open up each book and just grab different ideas. And that's kind of how I try to like bring different books into the mix just from getting ideas from others.
Amazing. What books do you enjoy reading now as an adult?
So now I'm at the phase where I'm investing a lot, and it's something that I'm not really knowledgeable on. So I'm trying to learn that more. I've been doing a lot more self-help books. Definitely reading Life Principles Daily Bible. I try to read that every day if I can remember it. And then I still read my adult fiction books, Sister Soldier is like one of my favorite authors. So anytime I can get one of her books, I'll read it. Robert Greene is currently what I'm reading. I think it's a Robert Greene and Curtis Jackson book. I can't find it. It's somewhere here. It's called Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. So that's actually what I'm reading right now.
Love it. Um, are there any books or authors that inspired you to become a writer?
I don't even know I know for sure the Buford series authors, they did I think it's Paul Lang, I think. I know off the top of my head, Walter Dean Myers, he did some great books I used to like to read as a kid. The Captain Underpants author, I forgot that author's name, but that was another that's something that I want to do eventually, something like that, but totally different. Of course, who can I say that I know for a fact off the top of my head? I can't think of any more now at this moment.
That's totally fine. I love the ones that you mentioned. When you were growing up, did you have a favorite book or series?
Yes, actually, when I was growing up, reading was like, reading. Me and my brothers always were in competition who could read the most books. Now it's kind of just I'm the only one that likes to read to this day. But back then, we always had friendly competition. I'd say definitely the Buford series. That was probably like middle school. Captain Underpants series was something that we all read together. I'm leaving some out. The Harry Potter books. I read Harry Potter. I read all the Twilight books. What else have I read? I like to read series as well. Like I like one book to lead to another. If I find a book and it's just one version of it, that's fine. But I usually like books that just go along with a story.
Amazing. What would you tell someone who's just starting out with reading again?
Find what you like to read first and foremost, because I know like the books you were forced to read in school because it was part of the it was part of the class assignment, or you had to read this just because it's part of maybe a history or Romeo and Juliet, you probably didn't like those books and you probably didn't even enjoy reading it, but you were forced to read it. And now you might not like reading, but as you get older and you're trying to read now, I think it's important to find like the books that you like to read. And I know like when I have a lot of books that people would say, "Oh, you're too old to read that." But at the same time, it's just like what I don't think reading is one of those things that there's no age on the book that you should be reading. But it's definitely important to find books that you actually enjoy and not just because it's the popular book or somebody told you to read it, you might not like it. I've had plenty of times where I picked up a popular book. One was the Kobe Bryant Mamba Mentality book. I picked it up last week and I thought it was going to be a certain book. It turned out to be not the book that I thought it would be. And I really didn't enjoy it, but the reviews were amazing on the book. But I honestly didn't. And I'm a basketball fanatic, but for some reason, I just couldn't get into that book. So I think it's important to find the book that you actually find the topics and genres that relate to you. And then reading is it's like 10 times easier. It's like watching TV just in a book form, I'd say.
So true, so true. It's important to find something you like, and a lot of people might not agree with this, but it's okay not to finish a book if you don't like it, if you're just pushing yourself through it.
Yeah, that too. That is true. A lot of people, start a book and they might not finish it, and that's fine too. You read something, now you know that book is kind of not for you.
So true. On the opposite side of that, what would you tell someone who's just starting to write their own book?
Go at your own pace. There is no you can't you don't definitely don't rush your book. I know like it's a lot that goes into a book for sure, and if you just try to hurry and rush, that will definitely be noticed by your readers, whether it's font changes throughout the book, typos, the illustration is not all the way there, the thoughts in the book might not be there. Like some people will read it and notice that the text and illustration are not aligned together. So I say don't rush your books, just because you have the idea doesn't mean you have to write the book in a day. You don't have to write the book and expect it to be finished in a week. You might write the book, get halfway through it and see, I don't like this storyline anymore. Don't get discouraged. Just, take your time, take a step back and try to think, okay, how can I make this book best for me? And know that you're writing for yourself first. I think for me, when I first started, and I think maybe that's what held me back. When I first had the idea to write, I was always thinking, what can make me a lot of money? What book or what topic can I cover and everybody's gonna want to read it? And that's like mission impossible, because you might like a book, you might think this book is great, and just because it's great to you, nobody might read it. And at first, I've been blessed to have a lot of friends, that when I did release the book and posted it on Instagram and things like that, I got a lot of repost and people enjoyed the book, but I also put a lot of time in the book as well. So I think starting out writing, I think just write everything that you want the book to be about, and then worry about the other stuff afterwards.
Amazing. Before we tell everyone where they can connect with you and all of that, is there anything else you wanted to add or talk about?
Not necessarily. I would just talk about, as far as in my book, I'm trying to change the narrative as far as in, there's this big picture painted and you always see the world just talking about absent fathers and not enough positivity towards active fathers. It's always absent fathers, not active fathers. And this book just highlights the love a lot of fathers have for their daughters, but it's just not highlighted because, the negative looks better. The negative is like the clickbait. So I'm just trying to shed a better light on fathers and just being a father figure.
Amazing. I really love that. What is the best place for readers to find your book? Do you have a website where you do signed copies? And then the best place they can connect with you?
So I'm currently working on an author website. My book is exclusively available on Amazon right now and Kindle. I love to sell books on hand. If somebody does order on Amazon and they wanted to, I don't know, maybe ship it to me, or if they live close, I always do book signings. If you buy it from me, or if you buy it and you see me in passing or something like that, that's fine. I do book signings, and I also write individualized messages inside the book for whoever purchased it, just to kind of give you kind of know a little bit more about me just based on the message I write inside. Once we speak a little bit and I kind of know what you like, what you're into, who's the book for, I know exactly how to write the message. So my handles are actually like, I usually have a bookmark, but I've been doing these just finding different ways to market. And I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Amazing. And we'll make sure to drop those in the show notes so that people can just find them super easy. And I wanted to thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.